Hello everybody, welcome back to this channel and welcome back to the disturbing movie breakdowns, people. That is right, this is what everyone seems to watch on this channel and what I got a lot of my subscribers from, so I thought it's time to bring this back from the dead and let's watch some disturbing fucked up movies. And we are starting today with the Human Centipede. Now, the Human Centipede is definitely up there for one of the most talked about, recognised disturbing movies out there, especially in recent years. And the reason why I say in recent years is because this was used, I remember being at school and when this came out, and this was used as a type of dare with kids to see how long you could watch without turning away or how long you could watch without squirming, that type of thing. It was very much on level with like the old gore videos on like Live Leak that you would watch and you'd be like, oh, I watched a cartel member behead someone, okay cool, and I watched this. It was that type of thing. This and I think Two Girls One Cup were like very big at the same time, roughly anyway. And I believe that it's kind of like become a, I don't want to say a cult classic, but it's definitely become very well remembered and I believe very warmly recepted within kind of like the disturbing movie fans, especially considering the content of the second one and the third one. This one definitely does feel a lot more tame. But yeah, the Human Centipede, if you want to see it and you haven't seen it yet and you don't want to be spoiled, I don't know how to say anything without spoiling it. So it follows a German surgeon who abducts 3 tourists and makes them become his new pet. That's all I can say without giving anything away. So yeah, if that sounds like you want to watch it, then go watch it. I think it's on Amazon Prime, that's how I watched it before. But yeah, let's get on to the breakdown of this disturbing movie. I will say, I have seen this before, I have seen all of them before, I vowed I would never watch them again, and yet I am here watching it with you guys. Watching it again for you guys is pleasant, so you better, you know, be nice and thank me in the comments, people. I'm going to do a big video with all of them in, but I thought, no, I'll do them little bit so I can kind of give every movie its decent, deep dive. So, yeah, okay. So, this movie starts with our villain, our crazy doctor, as he darts someone off the motorway, or it's an autobahn in Germany, and yeah, that's kind of like the cold open, so to speak. And then we are introduced to our 2 main girls. That is right, we have our 2 American girls, and they are called Jenny and Lindsay, and they are in Germany. They are wanting to go to a nightclub. I believe they're doing like a big European escapade because they're on the phone to a friend talking about how they got them a gift when they were in Holland, and then they're going to Italy later that week. So I think it's just like a normal holiday, I guess, but they are here in Germany and they want to go to a nightclub. So they take their car and they're driving and they get a flat tire because they're in the middle of nowhere because they've took a wrong turn, they don't know where they are, and they get a flat tire and they have no service, which I find hilarious because one of them says, I can't remember which one, says about how there's service everywhere, you always get a cell phone signal. Come to Somerset in England, where I am, because unless I'm connected to Wi-Fi, I am not getting a single bar of reception over here. So yeah, I had to laugh because I was like, no, you are wrong. You're wrong, Jenny or Lindsay or whoever the hell you are that said that. But yeah, so they are kind of stuck in this car. They want to get help, but they're also not sure if they should leave the car. They get harassed by some creepy old man and his waggling tongue, and that kind of scares them into leaving the car and going into to search for some help, and that is where they stumble upon this really lovely big house in the middle of the woods, and that is where our crazy scientist Dr. Heiter is, and he'll invite them in. He gets them water, which he drugs, and tells them that it's okay, he will go and call it's not the RAC, like the car people that are going to come and help them with their car. He doesn't, but he lets them believe it. And yeah, they succumb to their drug. And it's night-night Lindsay and Jenny. I want to say Jenny. And yeah, I do have to say that this movie, I have a fun time watching the late Dieter Laser perform. He plays our villain, and you can tell that he is having so much fun in this role, and he gives it 110%. He embraces the craziness that he's given on his script, and he just goes to town, and he's eating up all the scenery, and he's just having a blast, and you can tell. And I will always think that this movie has a little bit of heart to it, as hard as that is to say, because of his performance. And he passed away a few years ago, so yeah, R.I.P. Dieter Laser. He definitely is the standout in this movie, and just a joy to watch, because he's just having so much fun with it, and I love watching that. So I just wanted to say that towards the start, because yeah, I feel like he deserves the accolades and the respect for this movie, because he's just having a great time and he's really giving it his all. So yeah, R.I.P. Dieter Laser. So Jenny and Lindsay wake up, and they are in like this little surgical hospital ward. It's in his house. It's like his DIY ward, and they wake up to find that they're not alone. They've got someone else in there, which is that guy from the cold open. Dr. Heiter comes, and after having kind of gotten some info out of Jenny and Lindsay when they were talking about, like, are they terrorists, are they related, that sort of thing, he tells this man that he doesn't fit in, and that he's going to kill him, and he injects him with something which kills him. So yeah, we are already down a person. We've already killed someone, and yeah, so here we go. This is kind of where it starts to get going now. Okay, so it's been a little bit slow to start with. This is where it gets going. So Dr. Heiter replaces him with a new person. So we are now introduced to our other person, our other member of this centipede, and he is a Japanese tourist called Katsuru. And these three, Jenny, Lindsay, and Katsuru, are our core people. They are who we are going to be following now. There's going to be some people that pop in and out, but for the majority of this movie, these are our core three, with obviously Dieter Laser as Dr. Heiter. But he kind of pulls down a projector screen and is telling them what is going to happen to them. And what is going to happen is Dr. Heiter really wants to create this new creature, this new being. He is famous for being a surgeon who can surgically separate conjoined twins, and now he wants to create conjoined people, conjoined creatures. He did it with a free dog, I call it. That's no more. But he wants to now do this with a person, creating the human centipede, and he's going to be doing that by surgically attaching the mouth to the ass. So mouth to ass is going to be how they're attached, and they're going to survive by sharing the same digestive tract all the way through. Yes, that is right. That is the human centipede. And yeah, they're all like, oh shit, this isn't good. And Dr. Heiter is like, yes, this is going to be a medical revelation. He's prepping them for surgery. He injects them, gets them with anesthesia, but Lindsay manages to get out of bed and tries to escape, and in doing so is kind of in like this cat and mouse game where she's trying to escape, but she's just being tormented by Dr. Heiter. And I will say this part, I did enjoy this chase sequence, kind of, if you can call it a chase sequence. I enjoyed it. I thought it was done pretty well. I loved the fact that this is where you're really starting to see kind of Dr. Heiter's just madness and like his joy in just tormenting them shine through. And it's really creepy, and you really do feel for Lindsay, especially when she kind of gets herself into the pool and she is kind of submerging herself whilst Dr. Heiter is stood at the front with a gun, and you know that there's nowhere way out for her, and she knows that, and he knows that, and it's just like, it's almost like a cat playing with its prey, you know, like playing with its mouse before catching it. And yeah, I thought it was a very well done sequence, and yeah, I thought it was good. So I'm not a great fan of these movies, but I will give it credit where credit's due, and that was a pretty decent kind of sequence in this movie. She gets recaptured, and we have our surgery scene, which isn't as graphic as a lot of just normal horror movies will have, but it does something to me. I hate medical gore. When I watch stuff like Grey's Anatomy or ER, you know, or like proper actual like real life medical documentaries, I hate and I can't stand when they actually show stuff of kind of cutting or stitching, needles. I can't deal with that. That's like my bane, my kryptonite. I can't deal with it. So this did actually make me squirm a lot and uncomfortable a lot, even though you don't really see too much. You see a few cuts here, you see a few fleshy bits here or there, but it's not as graphic as they lead you to believe. I will say, this I watched on Prime. There is probably stuff cut. I will say that. I haven't seen the uncut version. The second one I will be watching. It's not on Prime, so I will be watching, finding a way to watch out the uncut version. So you'll probably find there is more graphic detail of this scene in the uncut version, but I just didn't have access to that. I found it on Prime. Prime definitely isn't going to have the uncut version of that. So just to be a word of warning, if you're listening to this thinking, oh, this sounds fine, I can deal with that, and you watch the uncut version, there's a chance it's a lot more heavy loaded with the gore than what I am talking about right now. But they survive through surgery, which is a big thing for Dr. Heiter, because Dr. Heiter's dogs died in surgery, and that is why he's crying. He's happy when he sees them kind of thriving, I should say, when they're awake. And yeah, he's succeeded. He's got a human centipede. Now they are awake, they are alert, they are surgically attached to each other's assholes. They are now treated like a dog, treated like a pet. They sleep in a crate. They are being trained with like a newspaper to go and play fetch. They get punished with like a crop, like a whip, kind of very much being treated as a pet. And I know, reading up about this movie when I first saw it, that Tom Six, who's the director, was really impressed with actually Dieter Laser's kind of commitment to the role, and how he himself decided that he was going to swim naked for a scene in front of the human centipede, because you don't feel shame or embarrassment around your pets, and that's what he's kind of wanted to convey. So it's very much, this is his pet now, this is his creation, this is his pet. He doesn't have a dog, he has a human centipede. And this is where we get the poop scene, and this is another thing I want to say might be cut down on the version I saw, because this movie was plastered everywhere for the poop scene. This was, if you watched old YouTube and it was people that were trying to watch this movie, it was always this scene that people were squirming and couldn't watch. So I hadn't seen this in a few years, and I couldn't remember how graphic it was. And it's pretty tame. It's gross. Of course it's gross, okay? It's poop being forcibly ingested by the other people. It's gonna be gross, but it's not very graphic. It's done quite quickly, which I feel is probably cut down in the version I saw. So comment down below if you've seen the unrated version and if it's a lot more graphic. But compared to the second movie and that poop scene, this is a cakewalk to sit through, in my opinion. So we've gotten through the surgery part, we've gotten through the poop scene, and yeah, I feel like both of them were very tame compared to where this franchise goes in its later installments. I want to rewind a little bit to when Lindsay tries to escape, and her punishment is being put into the middle of the centipede. That is her punishment. And it works out to be a blessing in disguise, because poor Jenny, who is at the ass end of the human centipede, is dying. She's developed sepsis and she's dying, which he is not happy about. Haito is not happy about that, because he's just got them working together. He's just got them pooping and thriving and eating and all that stuff, and now one of his links in this creation is dying. But don't worry, he feels he's hit the jackpot, because as this is happening, 2 detectives arrive at his house to talk to him about the disappearance of these 3 tourists, and he knows, wow, okay, I've got a replacement for Jenny, and also I'm going to be greedy and I'm going to try and stick the other one on to make a 4-linked human centipede. It's going to be madness, I tell you, madness. So he brings them in, gives them, or tries to give them, the drugged water. One of them takes it, the other one is very suspicious, slaps it out of his hand, it breaks. They're both very suspicious of Haito. Very suspicious. So they leave to go and get a warrant to, I guess, search the house. And while they're gone, Haito kind of comes back down to where they were in, like, the little medical bay, and they're gone. The human centipede has run away, scuttled away, and in doing so, Katsuru has taken a scalpel and manages to quite badly injure Dr. Haito. But sadly, they can't escape, because they managed to do the hard work and they managed to get up this really steep staircase, which I feel this was the most hard thing to watch for me, because as they're going up, you're watching all of their stitches start to pull apart and the blood is coming down, the noises. It freaks me out. I can't deal with stuff like that. I can't deal with it. So I was cringing my way through that. They managed to get up from that, and they go to the window they think is still broken from when Lindsay tried to escape earlier in the movie, but sadly he had gotten that replaced, so they are just stuck there. They managed to splinter and get some glass from it, but they are stuck there, and that is when Katsuru kind of succumbs and just gives up. He can see that he's not getting out of this one. He is riddled with guilt. He feels like, okay, he deserves what he's gotten. He deserves this outcome because he's treated his family poorly in the past, and he kills himself by slitting his throat with the bit of glass that he had in his hand from trying to get out of the window. And the death scene is done, again, it's quite prolonged. You got all the noises and the gurgling, and he passes away. He dies. This isn't a good thing for Haito, because again, he's losing Jenny and he's just lost his leader. He just lost the strong leader. These 2 detectives are back. Okay, they're back with their warrant and they're coming to search the house. He kind of goes and hobbles his way, because he's still injured, because he got pretty badly stabbed by Katsuru with the scalpel. And he kind of takes refuge in his pool section, his little pool house, and he's found by the guy that had taken the drug. So if you remember, I mentioned that out of the 2 detectives, one of them drank the drugged up water, the other one didn't. So they've split up to go search for them. And in doing so, the one that was drugged is starting to feel the effects, so he's not doing so well, and he stumbles in, and he's the one that finds Dr. Heiter, and obviously Heiter has his blade, so he's gone. He's dead. Okay, he is dead. However, our second detective, he's more with it. He finds Jenny and Lindsay, and he can't believe what he's seeing. And he hears like a gun go off. He hears kerfuffle, so he runs, and that's where he finds his dead partner in the pool. And he finds Dr. Heiter kind of like huddled up there, who's got his gun that he's stolen from the police officer, and he shoots this detective a few times, but detective does manage to get off a headshot on Dr. Heiter, so he dies, but he also takes Dr. Heiter with him. So now all we have left is Jenny and Lindsay, and they're in this room, and Jenny dies. She succumbs to the infection and she dies, and it is sad, because you know that these two are friends and they're kind of clutching each other's hands. Lindsay's trying to kind of almost be there so Jenny knows she's not alone, and she dies. And the movie ends with Lindsay crying her heart out, just stuck alone in this house in the middle of nowhere, attached to two dead people. And the movie pans up, and yeah, it ends. And that is The Human Centipede. So, as I mentioned earlier, this movie is very tame compared to the other two installments, especially the second one. And I feel like, yes, this movie, it gets, I don't want to say a bad rap, because I don't think it's a great movie overall, but I do feel it falls into the category of like the way the first Saw movie does, where people will say it's the gruesomest movie ever made and it's vile and horrible, but when you actually look at the movie itself, it doesn't have too much graphic content actually being shown to you. The graphic content comes later on in the franchise, and I feel like that this movie falls into that. Yes, it's got some surgical gore in there. Yes, it has the poop scene, and yes, it has someone committing suicide, but compared to what you may expect to see and witness, hearing people talk about this movie, especially when it came out, you would feel that this was going to be a bloodbath and just horrific from the start to finish, and that's not the case. Is it a good movie? No, not really. Does it have some redeeming features in it? Yeah, like I said, I think Dieter Laser's performance is great and is a big draw for this movie, and also some of the shots of the movie are actually pretty decent, pretty well put together. So I don't think it's an awful movie. Movie-wise, I'd probably give it a 2 stars, maybe. On the disturbing meter scale, I'm going to give it, out of 10, I'm going to give it a 5, because the concept is disturbing. Some of the scenes are disturbing and harrowing, but as a whole, the movie is quite tame for me. So yeah, there you go. That is my video, my disturbing movie breakdown on The Human Centipede, the first sequence, as they call it in preferences. So yeah, comment down below if you've seen this movie. Do you think the same as me, that it's been blown up to be this really disturbing movie, but actually it's not too bad? And also let me know if you've seen a unrated version of this movie, whether it's a lot more graphic than what I'm talking about, because again, I saw this on Prime, so I would be very surprised if that ended up being the unrated version that I watched. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure you follow me on the socials. It's the place to be, where you can keep up to date with me, and also make sure you hit that subscribe button and that like button. It helps out the channel, and it also keeps you updated for when new videos drop. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Sophia Margaritelli. This has been a disturbing movie breakdown. Ciao ciao. Goodbye for now.